Hello and welcome to the Gluten-Free Guru. My name is Tanya and today we are going to be making a classic chocolate chip cookies. So for this recipe you will need unsalted butter, baking soda, brown sugar, some kind of gluten-free flour. I highly recommend Bob's Red Mill 1-to-1 gluten-free baking flour. It has a good flavor and texture for when you're cooking, and it already has xanthan gum inside of it, so it's a very good substitute. You will also be needing baking powder, vanilla extract, chocolate chips, and an egg. So to get started, you are going to want to use 1 stick of butter or 8 tablespoons and melt it into a microwavable bowl. You can also melt it over the stove if you like. So now that our butter is melted, I'm going to transfer it to a larger bowl because I don't initially have a large microwavable bowl. Next, I'm going to add brown sugar to the melted butter. Okay, so grab 1 cup of brown sugar. I've bought the dark brown sugar, but there's also light brown sugar. It's whatever your preference is, really. It's kind of a heaping pile. Next, whisk it until there are no more lumps. Next, add your egg. One tablespoon of vanilla extract. Whisk it all until it's fully combined, and then set it aside, and we're going to now put all the dry ingredients into a second bowl. Okay, next, add 1 cup and 3/4 of your gluten-free flour mix. Add 1 tablespoon of baking powder. One teaspoon of baking soda. And I didn't mention this in the ingredients, but add a pinch of salt. You may not think a pinch does a lot, but it actually brings together all the flavors and balances the sweetness. Next, whisk together all the dry ingredients until fully combined. Now's a good time to switch your whisk out for a spatula or a wooden spoon, because we're going to combine the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients. I always start with half, mix that in until it's fully combined with no clumps. Now add the second half. If you're finding that this recipe is a little dry, you can always add a tablespoon or 2 of milk or another tablespoon of butter. Okay, once that's fully mixed, you're going to look at it. It's pretty nice and sticky. And add more chocolate chips. I never actually use a set amount of chocolate chips, but I imagine a 1/2 cup is probably good. Start with 1/2 cup. We'll mix it in. And if it needs more, you can always add more. Okay, so before you start mixing all your ingredients together and putting them onto the pan, you'll want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Next, get a pan ready with parchment paper and a regular tablespoon and drop them on. You don't need to push them down, they will spread naturally. Keep them about 2 inches apart from each other. Once your oven is preheated, put them in for 10 minutes. Depending on how large you made the cookies, they might need an extra 2 after that. But it's always good to check in on them. Once you take them out of the oven, make sure to let them cool for about 10 minutes. You don't want to plate them too early or else they will stick together, especially if you put them one on top of each other. Thank you for watching the Gluten-Free Guru. Now you can make your own homemade gluten-free chocolate chip cookies that you can bring to any event, and it'll be sure to be loved by everyone. Perfect. Crunchy on the outside, soft on the inside, just how everyone likes them. Next, I always forget the T. Next,